Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Well, I've been following you for about 10 years.
Oh, all right. Is that what I've seen behind me? Thank you for clearing that up.
10 parallel years,
All right.
I suppose.
Yes.
And I've imagined this moment many times while watching videos, and
All
I'm
right.
actually here,
Yes. Are you sure?
apparently.
All right.
Yeah, it's a big step. It feels like it.
All right.
What's the relationship between anxiety and excitement?
It's the same energy, but you experience it as anxiety when you filter it through negative belief systems, and you experience it as excitement when you filter it through positive belief systems.
I've heard you say that before.
All right. Well, then, did that not explain it enough?
I guess it hasn't sunk in.
Oh, all right. You are a 100% energy. You experience your energy in a variety of ways depending upon what kinds of definitions and belief systems you're filtering it through. It's as simple as that. It's just a different frequency of your energy expressed through a particular belief structure. Like a prism, yes? You focus light through it, you get a spectrum. Depending on the shape of that prism determines what the spectrum looks like. So it's a similar idea. It's that same white light energy, but that spectrum is going to break down in different ways depending upon the clarity of the prism, the shape of the prism, the material of the prism, so on and so forth, which is representative of the idea of the nature and structure of the belief system, positive, negative, so on and so forth. Does that make more sense?
It does. It helps.
All right.
Thank you. The belief system, the idea of it is really fascinating.
Yes, it is. And very freeing when you understand it.
Everything we see and experience physically
Yes,
comes from the filter of the belief system.
it does.
So that means the belief system is not physical.
No, not really.
So it's non-physical.
Yes, but it acts as a translation device, taking the non-physical energy of your higher mind and translating it into an experience that you call physical reality. But it's not actually physical in the way that most people on your planet mean that.
Can you ever see a version of the belief system? I've just realized we are looking at it all the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Physical reality, because it isn't real, is nothing but a reflective mirror. So you are seeing it all the time. That's how physical reality acts as a guiding mechanism, because you're seeing the reflection of your belief.
Certain teachers have talked about going outside of their belief system.
Yes, well, of course.
And then what do you see? If there's nothing to filter your experience
Well,
through.
as long as you experience the idea in any way, shape, or form of physical reality, you're still viewing it through a belief system in the artificial personality construct. Going beyond belief systems in the way that you mean it, in the way that it's experienced as a physical personality, means you're in spirit, you're dead.
Right.
And therefore you're experiencing things in a very different way. Not exactly through the same kind of system. It's different.
I imagine. But I can't really imagine.
No.
That's the other thing about the imagination. I've noticed it has limits.
Well, it's designed to, because again, the physical personality is designed to keep you focused in the physical reality theme that you chose to explore. Therefore, there is a certain attribute in your imagination that acts as a conduit of communication between the physical and higher mind that helps keep you on track so that you can recognize the difference between something that is possible, which is a lot, and something that is relevant, which is not as much. Yes?
Yes.
So you can use the imagination that is boundless to inspire what you're capable of doing within the bounds of your physical experience. They can work together. But there is a difference between the idea of anything is possible, but not everything is relevant or probable. And when you hone your imagination and it gives you a stronger connection, or at least an experience of a stronger connection to communicating with your higher mind, you can learn to tell the difference more easily, because what you're doing is, again, going back to trusting the mechanism of the organizing principle of synchronicity, because it is the organizing principle of synchronicity that's built into that imagination conduit that actually shows you what parts of the imagination conversation are relevant for you. It won't bring you anything else. So you can still perceive beyond the realm of the synchronicity as to what could be possible, probable, but synchronicity will actually show you what's relevant for you when you stay in alignment with your passion, with your excitement. Because that passion, that excitement, that sensation is actually your body's physical translation of communication with the higher mind. That's how communication from the higher mind translates into your physical reality, as that sensation. That's what lets you know, this is you, this is you, this is you, this is me, this is me, this is me. Follow that sensation, and you will always be in alignment with your higher mind. And the organizing principle that's built in to the kit, synchronicity, will show you in no uncertain terms what you need to do first, what you need to do second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way down the line. Yes?
Yeah.
Is this helping?
Yes.
All right. And?
I remember you mentioned a group agreed to meet your ship.
Yes, we have done that 3 times. We will do it no more at this time.
Because as soon as it began to appear,
they ran.
They ran.
Yes, in fear.
So something that was in their imagination to begin with, that was exciting.
Yes.
As soon as it started manifesting,
they took that energy and filtered it through the negative belief systems that were out of alignment.
Why?
That they were unaware of. You
Right.
see, that's the thing. When you come into contact with beings that operate on a higher frequency than you do, it can, in a sense, entrain you to start to integrate, which means you might not be ready to integrate things that are in your unconscious mind yet because you're unaware of them. But having had that experience, it makes you aware that you're holding on to negative belief systems, and therefore it isn't wasted as an experience, because now you can go away from the experience and say, oh, why was I afraid? What was I afraid of? What's coming up within me that I now can deal with and let go of?
Right, which is probably exactly what I'm about to do as soon as I leave.
What are you going to do?
Well, look up where any anxiety was coming from.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, well, it's simple. Really, in a sense, there are multiple ways to approach it. We have offered a couple of different kinds of ways of asking questions of the self that can be of assistance. For example, what would I have to believe is true about myself in order to feel the way I do? And conversely, if I did in fact act on my highest excitement and let myself do that, what am I most terrified might happen? Honest answers to those questions can put you directly in touch with what the negative belief systems are that are creating the anxiety that you feel. Because remember, there's no such thing as an emotion in a vacuum. You can't feel anything until you have a definition first. So you can use the emotion, you can use the fear, use the anxiety to ask those questions. What must I believe is true about myself in this circumstance in order for the belief to be generating this emotional response? You cannot have it any other way. You can always trace the emotion back to the belief and the definition that you're buying into. The belief in the definition generates the emotion, generates the thoughts, generates the behavior. You can trace all of them back to the definition. The definition is the blueprint of the house. So if your blueprint is off kilter, meaning full of negative beliefs, your house cannot stand strong. But if you find out where the blueprint needs to be corrected and correct it, bring it back into alignment, then building from that blueprint will make your house stand strong. Simple as that. Always begins with the definitional belief that you've bought into, sometimes even unconsciously. Asking the question can bring it into your conscious awareness. And as soon as you truly truly, clearly, precisely identify a negative belief that's out of alignment with your true frequency, it will appear to make no sense to hold on to it. It will seem completely illogical. And as soon as it actually makes no sense, it's gone. If you keep behaving the same way, all that means is you haven't really found it yet. You may have let go of a secondary negative belief, but if you still behave, feel, think the same way that you don't prefer to, that's your first clue that you didn't actually find the fundamental belief. Because as soon as you do and let it go, every secondary negative belief collapses along with it. But negative beliefs, like positive beliefs, are designed to reinforce themselves. Otherwise, you couldn't have a physical experience if they didn't. So positive beliefs are telling you the truth about yourself. Therefore, they don't have that much work to do. Negative beliefs are lying to you about yourself. Therefore, they have to work hard to convince you it's true. And they will use every trick at their disposal to do so, including the use of fear to prevent you from letting them go. Because you're too afraid to dig down and find out what they are. But here's the secret. The more afraid you are, the closer you are to letting it go. Because the more you feel fear, that means the negative belief is working that much harder to stop you because it knows you're just about to let it go. So you have to see through the smoke and mirrors that the negative beliefs use to keep you in the negative scenario, because that's just their job. It's not malicious. It's just the way they're designed. Yes?
Yes,
Does that help?
it does.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Quickly, one more.
All right.
Thank you. Sorry. When we talk to our version of you,
Yes.
what's happening?
You're
mechanically?
talking to your own higher mind.
Right. Which we're doing all the time anyway.
Doing it right now.
Right.
You're just using us as a mask, as a reason to listen to your own higher mind,
Well, thank
which
you.
we are happy to participate in, but you're talking to yourself.
Yep. Thank you for being such a great mask.
It is our pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Thank you. One of my favorite movies is The Matrix.
Yes.
And it alludes to what we've been talking about tonight, you've been talking about tonight, about the illusion of physical reality.
Yes.
It also alludes to the fact that there is a malevolent force that's projecting the field.
Nope.
If you remember the movie.
Yes, but that's not true.
I'm wondering to what extent the dark parts of human history have been influenced by malevolent forces, the Illuminati, et cetera,
It has
et cetera,
never,
et cetera.
ever been influenced by it. It has, however, chosen to be influenced by it. Big difference. You see, the real influence, if you want to use that word, is simply the idea that you can be influenced by it. Getting you to believe that you can be influenced by it allows you to experience it as if you are influenced by it. But that's all they can actually do. You have to buy into it. As soon as you buy out of it, there is no sensation and no experience of influence. Because there will always be darkness and there will always be light. There will always be negative and there will always be positive. Although creation is slightly bent toward the positive because there is a neutral central point. Since creation is not actually a duality, it is a trinity, there's always a balance point in the center. And a balance point in the center still gives you the freedom to choose what you prefer, and therefore its effect is of being slightly bent, slightly oriented in the positive direction. So the current of creation actually moves in the positive direction. You could euphemistically say that therefore existence is 51% positive and 49% negative. Therefore, the idea of being influenced by malevolent forces is simply what the malevolent forces want you to believe is happening. And therefore you feel the influence. If you suddenly don't buy into the program, you can't be influenced because you can only influence yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's very good.
Listen to the word in your own language. Influenced. Not outfluenced. Influenced. You're doing it yourself, inwardly. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Does this help?
It does help.
It's inner flow, inner fluid. It's you.
Right.
So make your choices.
Second question.
Yes.
Goes back to those negative beliefs. In my case, I've never been able to unroof this one. It's
All right. What is it?
perplexed me for a long time.
All right.
I seem to have
Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, well, you'll have a lot of fun with this one.
I invite you to have fun with it too.
Okay.
All right.
And that is, I've always had more of a separation than I would like between love and sex. I've never been able to put those two together in a way that makes sense to me.
In what way?
And that I can be sexual
Yes.
without a love connection, and I can be loving without a sexual connection.
Yes. Well, what's so mysterious about that?
I would prefer to put the two together.
Then put them together. What's stopping you?
That's the question.
It doesn't have to be that way in every case, in every relationship. There will be some expression of love with sex. There will be some expression of sexual energy with love, but they can be expressed to varying degrees in a variety of ways depending upon what the purpose of the relationship happens to be. You have to allow the relationship to be what it is and not place expectations on what you think it should be. Then those relationships that are representative of the ability to experience both will simply naturally evolve, naturally happen, naturally come through synchronicity if it's relevant for you to experience that in your life.
I guess the reason why this
Yes.
seems like a very relevant question to me, at least,
Yes.
is that in our culture we have this romanticism thing
Yes.
that goes on where you're supposed to quote put the
Yes.
two together.
Yes.
And I'm wondering.
But you've just said it yourself. It's a cultural thing that you've been taught that you're supposed to do.
Right.
That should tell you right there that
That's a
in
big red
sense,
flag.
It's artificial.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily designed in a way that allows you to experience what the relationships are really for. It allows you to impose all sorts of expectations and assumptions on it that may have nothing to do with what the relationship is in your life for. But letting it be natural, those that then need to have it represented that way will be represented that way. It will come naturally. It will be a natural expression. You won't have to force it.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Well, in a concomitant question, if
Yes.
you're willing,
Yes.
as a sixth-dimensional being,
I am not a sixth-dimensional being.
really,
We as a civilization are going from high fourth density to fifth density, which is a non-physical state.
right?
So we exhibit the qualities of both.
Okay. Well, in your
Serious, non-physical, serious consciousness is a sixth dimensional state.
okay. Well, in your culture,
Yes,
how do you handle relationships?
I just told you. We operate on pure synchronism, and we allow the relationships that form synchronistically to be what they are. We do not impose any assumption or expectation on what they're supposed to be. We may not even necessarily know ultimately what they were for in our lives until the end of our lives. Then we can look back and go, oh, that's what that was for. We impose absolutely nothing on them. We respond to them as they are in the moment. We let them be what they are, and then they show us what they're there for, most of the time.
Sounds like a lot of freedom.
It is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the flat Earth.
Yes.
Everything that you said resonated strongly,
All right.
and then I also felt that perhaps it was a little bit of the negative influence, filtering it through a negative belief system that people are thinking that the Earth is flat, like a big conspiracy, a disempowering belief.
Yes, of course. Much of it has to do with that idea.
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
In one of your transmissions, you talked about Beethoven's Seventh
Yes.
Symphony being the perfect harmonics for healing.
Yes.
And I've experienced that based on your suggestion, and it was beautiful.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Beethoven's Ninth,
Yes.
specifically the Ode to Joy.
Yes.
That is a very powerful, ecstatic song. Is that song or melody, from your perspective, also indicative of a perfect state?
Well, it depends on what you mean by a perfect state. It's certainly a specific state that can certainly represent, as you yourself expressed it, the ability to align more readily as a permission slip with the expression of joy.
Beautiful.
So it depends on how you want to use it. Again, remember, everything is a permission slip. You will adjust it according to your imagination in ways that work better for you. Other people may adjust it differently in ways that work better for them. But nevertheless, there might be a general archetypal symbolic consensus reality version of what that vibration represents. And that's what we were talking about when we talked about the seventh.
Yes, thank you.
Yes? Anything else?
Yes, my wife works with a Amazonian frog secretion.
Oh, how exciting.
Yes, that the indigenous cultures, the tribal cultures use in South America.
Yes.
And it creates a tremendous purge.
Yes.
The secretion is put into the lymphatic system.
Yes.
And the indigenous cultures have noticed that they can change their, quote, luck or bad luck with it.
All right.
And I always thought that seemed a little far-fetched, but I've experienced
really.
that. And I was just wondering if you could elaborate.
It's just putting yourself in a state of a clear definition that simply doesn't contain any other definition of any other experience other than what's relevant for that particular definitional frequency. That's another way of saying luck. Does that help?
It does. Yes.
All right.
And then lastly, I just had a question. In our culture, rock stars, they seem to have short lives or tragic endings, and that seems
Well, not always.
not always, but they're beyond the statistical probability. I was just wondering what
Yes.
causes that, or why
Well,
that
it
is.
can be a number of different things depending upon that particular individual. You would have to take it on a case-by-case basis, but obviously in some generalized contexts, you're dealing with people that have bought into certain belief systems about the idea that they have to do things in a way that does burn them out. But you don't have to think of it that way. The ones that last are the ones that don't think of it that way.
Right.
Some people don't necessarily want that to go on for very long. It's just that sometimes they may not necessarily have been taught the tools to transform it positively. They may not know that there might be positive ways to transform what they're doing in another direction. They may only have been taught that there are negative ways to exit that particular path. It can be a number of different things. That's why you would have to, again, examine it on a case-by-case basis to know what the specifics are for any particular individual that might be setting themselves up to experience that.
Right. Yes.
Does that help?
That does.
All right.
And then just real quick,
Yes.
on one of your transmissions, it was very powerful for me to hear. There was a woman who was trying to quit smoking,
Yes.
and she alluded to the fact that part of her wanted to and part of her didn't. And you were very strong and said that was the problem, that we think of ourselves as parts, conflicting parts.
Yes.
And that was a big revelation for me, because I was sort of thinking I had to integrate these parts or make peace with them, but
In a sense, you can use that terminology, you can use that approach, but fundamentally, all we're saying is that integration is the realization that you are actually a whole system.
yes,
Does that help?
very much so. Thank you so much.